All right, welcome to the Werewolf by Night bonus show. As we promised, we are finally going to talk about Dog Soldiers, which was recommended to us by a friend of the show, Tim Tucker, right at the beginning. I'm pretty sure Tim was one of our first guests, and he had recommended that we review this on the show it, close to 2 years ago. So I feel like we're finally there. We're finally getting to it. We're going to talk about Dog Soldiers.
Yes, it's been recommended from the beginning and by many, many people. So it's the overwhelming request that we've had since we started doing Werewolf Multimedia. Please talk about Dog Soldiers. And if you folks are new or whatever, we kind of started this in the COVID lockdown era. That we started in the end of summer of 2020, and we were really trying to be sensitive to people's financial needs because a lot of people were out of work. So we wanted to make as many things free as we could. So Dog Soldiers was never free online. It had been for years and years, like on Tubi or something similar to that. It was around forever to where I just took it for granted, and then it was just gone one day. And I think the reason it was gone was because it was released in 2002, and I think somebody was anticipating a 20th anniversary edition, and they pulled it down and probably restored it for Blu-ray and 4K and whatever, ultra high def. So we kept kind of putting it off because we didn't want anybody to have to pay for it, and then we just said, to hell with it. So I got to see it free because my awesome co-host pointed out to me that if you choose to not do the 2-day delivery with Prime, you just say, send it to me whenever, like 4 days or 5, you get these credits in the Prime video store. So I had enough of those to where I just rented this. I think it's $1.50 or something like that. And I got it for free. So I got to see this movie.
Me too.
Free. I had not seen this since it came out in probably 2002 or 2003. I mean, it was new when I saw it, and I was really impressed with it. And it was my first rewatch, and it was my wife's first watch. And so we started dating in 2004, right after I must have seen this. And we are horror movie lovers. I think she's always liked horror, but I'm a horror freak. So it's a large part of our relationship is watching horror movies together. So yeah, she was kind of like, why have you not watched this with me? Like, why am I seeing this for the first time just now? She's like, this is the guy that he went and made The Descent after this, one of my favorite horror movies. Why did you not show this to me? So, yeah. What was your awareness of it before the podcast? Did you even have it on your radar?
It was not on my radar whatsoever before Tim mentioned it on his appearance. So yeah, I feel like in the last, I don't know, 22 months or something, I feel like I have a level of expertise on werewolf films now.
Hey guys.
We've watched, hey guys, we've watched a ton, and but this is up there. I mean, if we're going by a number of werewolf films we've watched, I honestly think it's 40 or 50 at this point.
We gotta catalog this at some point on the Patreon page. Like,
yeah, we do
see the ones that we've watched. Maybe we can do we've kind of jokingly done a claws up, claws down rating. Maybe inject those in, and then people can recommend stuff, and we can add on as we watch more stuff, because we do have one more season of the show as Werewolf by Night podcast. So we still have shoot, I don't even know how many episodes there are. It's like 25 more episodes of season 3 of Werewolf by Night. So that's 25 more werewolf movies. I have so much stuff. It's like Pinhead. I have such sights to show you.
Yeah. Yeah, but watching this, this was my first time watching it, and I can see why it's so beloved. Like it's definitely, it's probably in my top 5 now. So yeah, let's go through it.
Great. So my impression after seeing it, I think, I don't think I knew anybody that was in it when I saw it. So it's it stars Kevin McKidd, who became famous shortly after this for his role in HBO's Rome, which I fucking love. I'm obsessed with Roman and Greek ancient culture, and it's such a good series. Super sexy, super badass. But Kevin McKidd's one of the leads from that series. And it also stars Sean Pertwee, which I knew his name, and I know he's like a respected guy, but it took me a while to figure out who the hell he was. Did you recognize him at all? As the
I didn't
CEO of
recognize him. No.
this group. So he was in
No.
Event Horizon. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah. I mean, back in the day.
Yeah. It's one of those films that tanked when it came out like in '98. And has slowly been gaining this cult following, and it's now considered a classic.
Yeah.
I watched it for the first time like 5 years ago, and I was like, holy shit, this deserves its reputation. It's fucking amazing.
I need to rewatch.
And I love that some fans have said, like, I don't know if this is official or not, a canon, but like it takes place in the Hellraiser universe, to where the event horizon,
Really?
the crux of whatever this thing is essentially the same thing that a puzzle box is in Hellraiser. And
Oh, that's cool.
they're linked. I think it's fascinating. It's a gateway to hell. Yeah, Event Horizon is a gory, dark, trippy, cerebral horror sci-fi movie that I highly recommend. He also played Inspector Lestrade in CBS's Elementary, which,
Okay.
you know, I'm more of a Sherlock BBC guy, but apparently he plays Pennyworth in Gotham. I've never seen Gotham.
Oh, okay. I watched the first season. It didn't grab me.
Yeah. So he's from a family of like actors. He's like a Barrymore of like the UK, I guess, or something. So yeah, where do we start on this thing? I mean, it's $1.50. So I think that, can we go ahead and spoil it and not feel like dicks?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'll just to kind of walk through it slightly. I mean, we won't talk about everything, but I thought it was a really cool opening. So it kind of it kind of opens with in a fairly typical thing. There's like a couple, and I like that all this takes place in the Scottish Highlands, which are some of my favorite geography on the planet. So anything that takes place there, I'm gonna love.
Have you been
I know
there?
it wasn't. I have, and yeah, Scotland's one of my favorite places on on Earth. I know. I've been twice. I have not traveled a whole lot, but I have been to Scotland twice.
Cool. You've been twice. I've been 0 times. So
yeah,
the big dick flex.
It is. I have to do it
my
sometimes
people too. You know.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Oh, they're my people too.
Look at me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm Irish, English, Scottish. That's all I am.
Yeah.
A little bit of
No, all the majority of me, yeah, is I'm pretty boring English Scottish, but yeah, I traced my McTavish side of the family to certain villages in Scotland that I actually went back, and there was some kind of like, I mean, there's a million castles in England, but in northern, like my English family is from the Hadrian's Wall era, so it's basically fucking Scotland. And there was a Balcombe Castle near Hadrian's Wall, which it's no longer there, but there's just a Balcombe train station. So I did go there though, which was pretty cool. But yeah, it does count.
You could probably go there and like show ID, like your passport, and like word it around. Like,
yeah,
I tried to help myself to one of your sodas.
Yeah,
your famous energy drinks. David Cross's character.
Yeah.
Sorry, Todd
Margaret, yes. So anyhow, the movie starts off as a couple. They're kind of camping in the Highlands. Was it some kind of like, why did she give him the letter opener? Was it just some kind of romantic
anniversary
gesture?
gift?
Okay, it's like an anniversary or something like that. And then I loved it. It was really scary. So they're murdered. I mean, obviously by a werewolf. But the scariest thing was that you think of werewolves as this very, like animal that they can't do stuff. But I like how this werewolf slowly unzipped the tent. And I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Like, for some reason, that was the scariest thing. Not the werewolf attack, but just the slow unzipping of the tent. And I was just like, Jesus, okay. Yeah. So yeah, it was a great
It's not drunk
No,
yokels who are up, you know.
it's not. It's really terrifying. And so, yeah, it starts out and they're murdered in this tent. And then we kind of cut to this our main character, Cooper, right? Who's
Private Cooper.
it's him doing it's him doing some kind of like special forces training. And
It's like a tryout for this essentially like, you know, special forces, like kind of like a Green Beret or whatever type of unit, like the best of the best.
yeah, and so he's, you know, they're playing like kind of this war games type of tryout thing. And then he you know, he does really well until the kind of like evil captain, what's his name, or Ryan, Captain Ryan,
Mhm.
is basically tells him that he has to shoot this dog to join the special forces, right? Which is so
Yeah.
fucked up.
It's one of the dogs that was hunting him. So he was being like stalked by this entire team as part of this tryout. And one of the elements is a canine unit. And he kind of wins out the whole thing. And then I think Liam Cunningham plays Ryan.
Yep.
Basically says, okay, you pass all the tests, so kill the dog. He's like, excuse me? He's like, kill the dog. This should not be a problem. Like, so there's a morality test at the end of this tryout. Or not morality.
Yeah, and you'd think
amorality, morality vacuum.
amorality. Yeah, because you'd think if it's a morality test that he would pass by being like, I'm not shooting a fucking dog. But no, he fails because he wouldn't shoot the dog. Yeah.
So basically,
he fails.
He's not fit to be part of this unit unless you're willing to just kill a dog. You know, I mean,
yeah.
Most people would say, I would rather shoot someone in the head than kill an innocent dog. I mean, that's just like an average, like if you're not a sociopath or psychopath, that's kind of your starting point.
Yeah, so you think that's you'd get the brass ring after refusing to kill a dog, but no, he gets booted out
Back down.
Yeah, booted back down to normal army. And so it kind of cuts to about a month later, I think. And we see kind of in the same Highlands area, I think. I mean, it's kind of the same. It's the same area, yeah. And it's just a squad of soldiers that are and what I realize is that this is a werewolf movie, but this is a military movie.
Oh yeah.
Like it's so much just about a squad, a band of brothers, and all the lingo, all the choices they make. Like it's a military movie that has werewolves in it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so we see very quickly, you notice that I noticed that there was yellow like flanges on the ends of their weapons. Yeah. So it's very clear that they're shooting blanks. This is a military exercise. It's like essentially capture the flag, but for the army. Like it's a training exercise. And they get dropped down. They say, oh, we have to get from point A to point B. Here's the most strategic way to get there. And meanwhile, we cut to another military party and we get the werewolf vision. There's this werewolf vision that's like this day for night type of weird black and white thing. And we see the evil Captain Ryan or Sergeant Ryan, or whatever he was, looking around and being all nervous and being stalked by these things. And he says there's only supposed to be one. And there's multiple things watching him. And then they charge and attack him. And so, long story short, the training exercise dudes come upon these guys and find them. They're all slaughtered. There's nothing left but like weapons and skin and blood and few traces
viscera,
of guts. And viscera and Ryan, who is severely wounded, mortally wounded, but still alive. And so they decide to get the hell out of there. They try and carry him out. And they run across a Jeep that has a lady driving it, and she takes them to a farmhouse. And this is the only farmhouse in the immediate area within hours. And that basically sets up the entire film. So once they get there, I guess did I miss the wounding of Pertwee's character? Did it happen before? Yeah, it happens before they're rescued by
that happens before they get to the house. So he gets the werewolves attack him.
Disemboweled.
He gets Yeah, he gets disemboweled, and so we see
Disgusting.
there's a horrifying scene where his guts are just out and they're trying to push him back in. They get
Oh God.
super glue and like, oh God. For I mean, it's not a huge budget movie, but for the low budget that they had, I mean, it's very convincing and
All the special
very
effects, all the
disturbing.
creature stuff, everything was top notch in this, in my opinion. I had zero
Really
complaints
was.
about anything. Yeah, so a member of the party dies while they're being stalked by these things. The CEO of the party gets disemboweled. Kevin McKidd's character, Private Cooper, basically stuffs his guts back into his abdomen and wraps him up with like a piece of cloth or whatever, a shirt, keep his guts in. And they're limping off with this Ryan guy, and they find a Jeep with a woman driving it. And they go to that farmhouse, as I mentioned. So that's what sets up this whole thing. So,
yeah,
in many ways, this becomes like a classic like zombie film in the sense of like you're holed up in this space and just trying to maintain your position, like in a military.
They're trying to fortify this farmhouse, and trying to figure out who's attacking them and how they can survive. So yeah, I mean, I know that a lot of tricks are used storytelling wise to where they don't have to have a giant budget, but I didn't notice them as tricks at all. I just thought this is a very classic story.
Masterful.
It's told in a really classic way. Yeah, it's super cool. And so yeah, the rest of the movie is just them just having these terrifying encounters with these werewolves who you really don't fully see until, I don't know. I mean, you don't really see them until at least halfway through the movie.
Yeah, it's the last act almost, like full.
It's almost
exposure.
the last act. Yeah. For full exposure, definitely. And so we kind of find out from this woman, what's her name? Megan. And
I think so.
So that she's there, like she's a zoologist, right? Like that's
studying
that's there to like,
she's the Captain Exposition. Like she's a zoologist.
Yeah.
She's there. Guess what, guys? Lycanthropy is real. I know it's hard to believe, but this is why I'm here. We're studying these things. They come to find out that this party that the evil Captain Ryan, the special ops, basically Green Beret guys, were there to try and capture one of these things because governments, military, they would want to weaponize lycanthropy if it existed. So trying to capture a werewolf and bring it back. And so Ryan's comment back when he was looking around saying there was only supposed to be one before he gets eviscerated was there was supposed to be one werewolf and there's a pack of them all hunting in conjunction with each other. So it's a nightmare. And they're surrounded.
Yeah. And so Ryan is with them, but like we said in the beginning, he's supposed to be mortally wounded, but he's kind of getting better as this whole thing goes on, which we realize more about that at the end. But I kind of liked his character. It's Liam Cunningham who plays him. So I think he was like kind of got famous on Game of Thrones. I thought he was like he was a character on that. I think he was like Davos. I think
Davos?
Game of Thrones for me. I think he was Davos, if I'm correct. But like I do this sometimes with shows. Like I watched almost to the last season of Game of Thrones, and before everyone like shit themselves about how bad the last season was, I just kind of threw up my hands and I was like, I don't care about this anymore. I'm just not going to watch it anymore.
Oh my God, you're right. He was. Wow. Okay.
Trip. And he's great. Like honestly, I think he's one of the best things about Game of Thrones. It's like his character.
Davos'
character in the books is really cool. He's the best character in my opinion. And so it was really cool to see. I recognized him from that. And he's really great as a bad guy in this. He's super great. And so he's there this whole time just kind of egging them on a little bit and kind of being an asshole the whole time.
Supposedly dying, but getting better and better.
Supposedly dying, but definitely getting better. His wounds are healing. And so he basically, admits to them, he's just like, well, we were there to capture this thing. We were there to find it and weaponize it, but there was more. And you guys doing your little war games, you were the bait.
Yeah.
Like you were expendable.
Like you were here right into we knew we're such good strategists. We knew that you dipshits would read the fucking lay of the land and go, "Oh, the best way is to do this." So we just walked you into a trap. You were werewolf
Yep.
bait.
Yeah, pretty much. And so yeah, they realized this. Yeah, I mean, how specific do you want to get towards
Well,
the end
I
here?
think we
We're
should mention
basically
that
in the final act.
the CEO of the training party, again, he was disemboweled, so he's upstairs in the bedroom, and they take up a fifth of whiskey and a tube of super glue, and get him liquored up and super glue his guts back inside his body. And Private Cooper makes a point of saying, like, this was invented for the Vietnam War, right? Like, this is an application that it was actually made for, which is funny because I'd heard that before. I remember back when they were saying, like 20 years ago, like the new miracle thing is super glue. Like whenever you just get this advanced cut or whatever, just use super glue and wrap it up and blah blah. And like, I remember thinking, like, that sounds like kind of what it was made for. Because he even says, like, whenever you super glue something, what gets stuck together the best? Your fucking fingers, right? It's because it was goddamn made to glue tissue together. Anyway, they glue him together. He's obviously, I mean, anybody who knows shit about shit knows that a guy whose guts have been on the outside of his body and put back in by a guy with bare hands in the field and then glued shut, he has a day before massive infection sets in and he's dead.
Yeah,
he also begins to get better and better. Like as the tension ratchets up, you realize, like, he's downstairs talking, like plotting with them. Like, wait a minute, the fuck, shouldn't you be in bed upstairs? And why are you not sweating profusely and pale?
I know.
He's like, yeah, I don't want to think about it. He kind of knows. Everybody knows.
He knows.
Yeah, and I think the big reveal of like who these people are that are stalking them is fun as well, which you kind of see a while away if you're paying attention. Yeah, for me this was like just a masterful story of like intensity. Like any good like zombie film is like this, where it's like you're just ratcheting up stuff and it's like just oh shit moments, like oh shit. Mm-hmm. Oh shit. Oh shit. Like it's that chef kiss. Like, yeah. Neil Marshall, I don't know who wrote this, but Neil Marshall's direction is like so good. Like when we started watching it, Renee's like, who's this again? I was like, it's the guy that made The Descent. She's like, oh, I love that movie. That's like, have you seen The Descent? It's one of the most intense.
I have not.
Oh my God. It's one of the most intense movies ever. This caving film about this girl's getaway retreat that just goes fucking sideways, as I'm sure you can imagine after seeing this.
Yeah. Oh, this was written by Neil Marshall too.
Oh, he wrote it.
Okay. Yeah, he wrote it.
So God, he came out of the gate just strong. Yeah, I mean this hits every like survival attack trope that I love in a good action horror movie. And yeah, like I said, once the werewolves are revealed, they're golden. I mean, they look amazing. You can tell it's a low budget film. Like it's shot on shitty film stock. Mm-hmm. Like it's shot on, it can't be 16, but it looks like it's low grade 35.
It's definitely low grade. Yeah.
It's got a lot of noise and grain in it. Maybe that's intentional, but I didn't think so. I felt like it was just poor stock to save money. And it didn't affect the storytelling at all.
No. Well, I'm looking now. The budget was 2.3 million pounds.
Okay. And this was shot in Ireland or Scotland?
I think it was
funded by the.
No, it was shot somewhere else. Like I was kind of sad because I don't think it was shot in Scotland
was it shot like itself. In mainland Europe, like.
Yeah, Hungary, it was shot somewhere like Hungary or. Let's see, Isle of Man. Oh, it was shot in Luxembourg.
Ugh, Luxembourg.
I know. Whatever. It's no Scotland. It says the film was shot in Luxembourg due to tax deals.
Okay, that's weird because I guess that was later. I thought that like Ireland had these huge tax breaks for filmmakers for a while. Where they're like
I think that's later.
To like help us make. Yeah, that was. You're right. That's like 10 years later. Yeah. Some great films came out of that. But anyway, I don't know. How do we finish this thing? It's a fucking amazing. Like honestly, as like Renee fucking loved it and was just like, guts come out of someone's torso. She's like, masking her face, like all the
Yeah.
classic horror viewer shit. And she's like, "Why have we not
No, I
watched
don't
this
think we should.
before?"
I'll Yeah, let's not spoil the ending. I think people should watch it.
Okay,
I think
sure.
yeah, it's cheap right now. It's $1.99 on Amazon. So I would just it's definitely worth that.
So my final thought then would be, um, when I saw it 20 years ago, I was blown away by it, and I thought I'll watch this again really soon. And I don't know why I didn't. When we started the show, I was like, we have to watch Dog Soldiers. Um, we put it off for obvious reasons. We talked about at the top of the show. Um, for me, I honestly think this might be my top 5 werewolf films.
Yep, I think it's in the top 5 for me as well.
Um, if not top 10 without a hesitant, moment. Like probably top 5.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, American Werewolf in
I think
London,
for sure.
London, the Howling, the Wolfman. Um, yeah, it's got to be in there for me.
Beast and the Magic Sword.
I know. No, I'm counting.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't want
Just
to
had
name
to
it.
add that one. I know that was your other. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone knows.
Yeah. Well, I love samurais and I love werewolves. Come on.
Yeah. No, everyone who listens to this show knows how much we love Beast and the Magic Sword. So
Yeah.
no, top 5. I was so glad that we watched it. I don't know why it took us this long, but yeah, you're right. I mean, we tried to make our recommendations things you could get on normal streaming services or for free, like on Tubi, and this just hasn't been.
Yeah.
Since we started the show, because we looked.
So I'm hoping that we're correct, and this is like there's some fancy Blu-ray whatever for 20th anniversary coming out because I will buy it. I like it that much.
I'll totally buy it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
next time we originally planned. I asked you, Jacob, if we could watch Thundar the Barbarian. Had recurring villains that were a pack of werewolves that could turn people into werewolves by touching them magically and recruit them to the pack. And I think the episode is called like Brotherhood of the Moon, I think is the name of the episode that introduced them. And I thought it was free on YouTube, like Fangface was when we watched that. But then I went to just do like a quick preview and make sure that I was right, and I was wrong. It's on YouTube as part of their official releases, like $2 rental. And
yep.
I don't want to smoke grass and drink whiskey and watch something I have to pay for. So
no,
I found 2 things. I did some Saturday morning werewolf searches. Please say your thought.
Well, so we just have one more episode of the season. We're taking like a month off. So are we going to have this be the bonus episode for our final episode?
But we still have to do Werewolf Media for the next season.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we're saving this till next season, right?
Oh, what do you want to do next episode then for the finale, for the bonus?
Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. So if you want to do a bonus for the finale, then yeah, let's do this. So yeah, okay. you had found some more. So go on.
So I want you to pick between the 2. I have an opinion, but I downloaded these from YouTube, so we can stream them together. We can watch the first episode of the first season of the Teen Wolf Saturday morning cartoon.
Okay, which I remember.
Really? I didn't know it existed. Or we can watch a Saturday morning special. Remember those? Like the, like kind of like, after school special, but it was called 2-Minute Werewolf, about a boy that turns into a werewolf for 2 minutes at a time. It looks pretty dorky. And it's 45 minutes of runtime. Sans ads.
Sans ads? Wow. I'm going to go Teen Wolf.
I wanted to watch Teen Wolf 2.
Yeah, let's just watch Teen Wolf.
Not Teen Wolf 2.
Watch that together.
Teen Wolf also.
Not Teen Wolf 2. Teen Wolf also. Not Jason Bateman as Teen Wolf.
Yes.
Which is Teen Wolf 2.
But I just don't want to watch it. Yeah.
No.
Cool. So for the the finale of the season 2 bonus episodes, we will watch Teen Wolf 2. and record it. And much like we did Fang Face, which I thought was super fun to just hang out and have cocktails and watch a really shitty cartoon and comment on it. Cartoon about werewolves.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, I mean, a little bit of behind the curtain podcast magic here, but you and I are going to be in the same room recording our final episode where we list our top threes, where we play, our messages, where we get our votes from listeners. So are we going to watch this in the same room, or are we going to do this later in the week when I'm back at my house and do it over Zoom?
I hadn't thought that through.
We'll be here and we'll be drunk. So just saying, think about it.
Figure it out for sure.
Think about it from a producer's standpoint.
Yeah. So yeah, if for some reason, by the way, you haven't voted yet, please go to Patreon and DM us your votes for the top threes of covers, issues, moments, or villains, and let us know. We would love if you called our voicemail line and left a voicemail. That's the dream. But
yeah, that is the dream.
If you're shy, you can DM them through Patreon or Twitter or Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you can call us and tell us them and then say at the end, I don't grant permission to use my voice, my audio.
What a ball buster, though.
Yeah. Goddamn. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick storytelling thing.
Please do. I'm curious.
So I was going to talk about jury duty, which I did yesterday, and got dismissed from because I'm a Me Too supporter. I think that's the reason the defense attorney sent me home after lunch, because it was a sexual harassment criminal case or a sexual assault.
Okay.
And I'm so wild. I support women. So I think the statement that got me kicked out was probably something to the effect of believe all women and investigate every claim.
Oh, yeah. How wild of you, Matt. Wow.
But Renee and I went across the street to this little place called the Whiskey Barrel for a cocktail before we did the show tonight. And we were talking to some random dude we met. There was an ALS fundraiser. And somehow in the conversation, the guy was talking about how he was a hall monitor in grade school. And one of his employees came up who had known him his whole life or whatever. And she's like, yeah, we had sashes at my school and everything that said hall monitor. And, and Renee's like, oh, I kind of like resented you guys, but we also kind of wanted to have your power. They can go out there and bust kids and blah, blah. And this just sent me hurtling back through, Sherman and whatever, Bullwinkle fucking time travel. Like, oh my God, I was in a detective agency in grade school. I had forgotten about this. So in 5th grade, I was friends with this guy named Josh Johnston. And we hung out at his house, and it was like a 50s style ranch style house. And if you went on the back and went down these stairs in the backyard, there was a keyed entry to a 1-room basement. And so for a while, we had that as like a comic shop. When we first started buying comics, so like we would like take our comics, put them in bags, and tape them up on the wall to display them like you would at a comic shop. But we didn't have customers or sell anything. We just whatever. But Josh got really into Encyclopedia Brown and this other
I was just going to say, it has to be.
This other detective called something Magruder. Oh, God, I'm forgetting the dude's name, but it was something like Encyclopedia Brown. But we decided to start a detective agency. So we made these flyers that was like he lived on Clark Street because, it's Oregon. You have to have Lewis and Clark Street next to each other in every town legally. So it was like the Clark Street Detective Agency, call us for whatever. And this is before area codes mattered. So it was 756-3635. I always remember his number. And we had cut the little tags, put them up on the things, call us if you have a mystery to solve. And we had some cases. Like this whole thing fucking trips me out as an adult. Like people would call us. We had a case where a kid called us and said, I want to know why my gerbil is not having any babies. So he hired us. We had a fee, and we found out it was a male. So we collected our fee and said it's because he's a male. I remember that case. My friend Josh was such a maniac that he set up that basement space into an office, like with a desk and chairs. There was office hours posted on the door.
Wow.
He made, I am not fucking kidding. He made a candy machine because it's an office. He made a candy machine out of cardboard boxes, and it fucking functioned. So he made cardboard slots and shit. So there was like a Butterfinger, and it had a cardboard thing. And if you put a fucking quarter in and pulled this thing out, it fell down and it came out in a trough. He made a functioning candy machine out of cardboard for our clients that we didn't have. But the weirdest thing to me, the hall monitor thing was made me think of this. We were hired out. We hired ourselves out to the principal of my elementary school, Bangor Elementary in North Bend, Oregon. So the principal hired us for a case. Someone had gone into the boys' restroom and had smeared their shit all over the fucking tile walls. And the principal was so desperate or whatever. It's like, if you guys can find out who did this, I will give you a bunch of tickets. Like they had a ticketing system whenever you were good. You know, you got these tickets and you went in a drawing and you got prizes and all this shit. So he's like, I'll give you like 50 tickets and some other, it was some crazy shit. And we took the case. We had plastic badges that we would flash because Principal Hall said, you know, we were deputized essentially.
You went out
into the field during recess and interrogated people. We roughed people up like fucking Pinkertons. We beat the shit out of kids trying to find out who smeared shit all over the bathroom walls. We eventually solved the case. I forgot who the fucking kid was, but we figured out who it was and dragged him literally, physically into Principal Hall's office and dumped him on the floor and said, there's your shit smear, you know, whatever we said in fucking fifth grade language. And like that all came flooding back as I was having a cocktail with my wife. And this guy said, I was a hall monitor at my school. And I was like, I was a fucking private detective.
You're like, I was Rockford. That's what I wanted your guys. I want your rates to be Rockford rates, like $200 a day plus expenses.
And a hot dog and a cup of black coffee.
Hot dog and cup of black coffee. No, that's so amazing. And no, by God, that's why I love the 80s. Because yeah, a principal could just deputize kids that could go rough up some kids and extract a confession and literally
some kids.
Drag him by his collar and throw him on the floor of the principal's office. The 80s were amazing.
And he confessed because we had beat the shit out of him and put the fear of God in him. We were Pinkertons of my elementary school.
That's incredible. I love it.
Yeah, that's a much better story.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell. Oh man, that's great though, because I mean, everyone that's our age, you know, read those Encyclopedia Brown books and just wanted to do that, you know, and but you guys really did it, and that's very impressive. Yeah, I would love to talk to Josh Johnston today and see what he's up to.
Yeah, you guys need to get the team back together, you know, start solving fucking cases again. I'd watch that show.
Oh man, I have many stories about that guy. Maybe I'll tell some more in future episodes. He was a trip. We had some weird times together.
It's amazing.
All right, so next week we're gonna watch Teen Wolf pilot episode. It should be great.
Yep, that'll be a great bonus episode. I loved watching Fang Face with you. So yeah, this will be great.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening. Jacob, so let's get us out of here.
Let's get us out of here. All right. For the second to the last bonus episode of this season, may your fur never bristle in the moonlight.
Stay furry, friends. See you next week.